We are live in 3, 2, 1.
I heard that the commission a little while ago changed the debate style, and that's not acceptable to us.
President Trump rejects the idea of an all-virtual presidential debate and calls it a waste of time.
Tension hits the vice presidential debate both inside and outside the building. Groups of protesters swarm University of Utah campus.
Airline CEOs plead with the government to help recall more than 50,000 airline workers who have been furloughed. Welcome to Newsline. It's Thursday, October 8th. I'm Joseph Carson.
And I'm ARNOLD. President Trump says he will not participate in the next presidential debate, which will be held virtually.
But Biden says he has no problem participating in a virtual debate.
No, I'm not going to waste my time on a virtual debate. That's not what debating's all about. You sit behind a computer and do a debate. It's ridiculous.
We don't know what the president's going to do. He changes his mind every second.
The next debate is supposed to take place virtually a week from today, although now that's questionable. The adjustments come after President Trump tested positive last week and would likely still be contagious at the time of the debate. Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris faced off in the vice presidential debate last night. The debate at the University of Utah was in stark contrast with the chaos of the last presidential debate.
Reporter Camila Bernal breaks down some takeaways for us.
Though a notably more civil and substantive affair than last week's presidential debate, the face-off between vice presidential candidates Mike Pence and Kamala Harris was still contentious.
He interrupted me, and I'd like to just finish.
The candidates pulling no punches on key issues like climate change, foreign relations, and health care.
If you love someone who has a pre-existing condition,
they're
coming for you.
Obamacare was a disaster.
But from the start, the plexiglass barrier highlighted a huge issue of the campaign, COVID-19. Harris zeroing in on the pandemic's impact.
210,000 dead people in our country. Over 7 million people who have contracted this disease. 1 in 5 businesses closed.
And challenging Pence on the strategy going forward.
Today, they still don't have a plan. Well, Joe Biden does.
Pence, however, echoing President Donald Trump's narrative of success.
He suspended all travel from China. That decision alone by President Trump bought us invaluable time.
But in a race where the two oldest candidates in history are running at the top of the ticket, neither Pence nor Harris was willing to articulate a plan for the transferring of power in case of presidential disability. In Salt Lake City, I'm Camila Bernal.
Protesters outside the vice presidential debate surrounded the University of Utah last night. Newsline reporter Ashley Ward was there.
I'm outside the University of Utah where the debates are taking place. We're seeing a lot of people here outside protesting. We have people from both sides of the political spectrum. We have people chanting Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. We're going to get some of their reactions of the debate tonight.
Get this for Breonna Taylor! Get this for George Floyd! George Floyd was a criminal! Get this for George Floyd! George Floyd!
Last night, crowds of people gathered during the debates to counter-protest. Black Lives Matter, Trump supporters, and Biden supporters came to be heard. Police and riot gear separated these groups as they passionately shouted chants at each other.
Criminals don't have rights! Criminals do have rights! You resist arrest, you're not compliant! Put on a mask! Put on a mask!
People with Make America Great Again hats and flags outnumbered anyone with Biden signs, but what also came in large numbers was a group of Armenians protesting their relations with Turkey.
Well, for sure they should sanction Turkey. They should call upon ceasefire, Azerbaijan that is, and Turkey to stop supporting, because they're already attacking civilians and they're using heavy artillery.
Antifa was also there marching the streets and shouting at the police. One member covered my camera lens, trying to keep me from recording them.
No go cops in a racist system!
The protesters were cleared off the streets as the debate came to an end. Reporting for Newsline in Salt Lake City, I'm Ashley Ward.
There's a lot of buzz around last night's vice presidential debate. Rachel Smith is in studio to tell us more about it. Rachel, what are people talking about?
Yeah, Joe, all that buzz is coming from a fly that made a special appearance during the debate. While the candidates were discussing the topic of justice in the Breonna Taylor case, a fly stole the show. The fly landed on Vice President Mike Pence's head and remained there while he was speaking for 2 full minutes. The Biden-Harris campaign was quick to jump on the opportunity with new fly swatter merch, saying, don't let this debate buzz off, truth over flies. And by the way, that merchandise is sold out. Another topic was Kamala Harris's facial expressions and her bold statement to Vice President Mike Pence saying, "I'm speaking." Dave says, "A beautiful moment of unity just happened in our country where tens of millions of diverse Americans came together in unison and declared, 'Is that a fly on the TV or Mike Pence's head?' with the hashtag Flygate, which is trending on Twitter now." Now we have Esco, who says, "One thing about Kamala Harris, her face is going to say it before her mouth do." And now we have Jai, who says, "Choose your fighter, I'm speaking," or "Will you shut up, man?" Finally, the debate did provide a lot of comic relief, but there was great information and discussion on debates. Back to you.
The man accused of killing University of Utah student Mackenzie Lueck pleads guilty and says he had planned the murder. 32-year-old Ayula Ajayi pleaded guilty to aggravated murder on Wednesday. He admitted to strangling Lueck at his home in Salt Lake City and then burning her body and burying her in his yard. The two met online in 2018 before meeting in person on June 17, 2019. He will serve life in prison without the possibility of parole. The sentencing is scheduled for October 23rd.
An 11-year-old Arizona boy is dead after a personal watercraft incident at Sand Hollow State Park on Monday. On Monday, 2 personal watercraft collided with each other on Sand Hollow Reservoir. The Utah State Park Rangers transported the injured victims to the Dixie Regional Medical Center. The boy, Ethan David Law of Chandler, Arizona, was pronounced dead due to injuries from the accident.
A warning about this next story: some viewers may find this disturbing. An Ogden man appears in court this morning accused of eating the hearts out of a dog and cat. 33-year-old Bruce Anthony faces 2 felony charges and criminal mischief. He was arrested after his girlfriend called police when she found large amounts of blood in their apartment. Police found a bloody baseball bat and the animals' bodies in Sanders' bathtub. He's scheduled to return to court on October 19th.
San Pete Sheriff's Office is on the lookout for 2 fugitives from Wyoming. They are identified as Brett Gilman Johnson and Jamie Carroll Cleghorn. Sheriff deputies and a Fairview City officer attempted to arrest the pair in the Milburn area yesterday, but were shot at. Residents in the Milburn area are encouraged to call 911 if they see unknown people resembling Johnson or Cleghorn.
As of today, the total number of positive COVID-19 cases in the state of Utah is more than 80,000. Salt Lake County has more than 34,000 cases with over 260 deaths. Utah County has just over 21,000 confirmed cases with 66 deaths. Southwest Utah is close to reaching 5,000 cases with 39 deaths. And Bear River cases are close to 4,011 deaths. The state of Utah reports 496 total deaths and more than 4,000 hospitalizations. Spending 2 weeks cooped up inside for coronavirus is a drag, especially when it isn't necessary. NewsLine reporter Savannah Osler tells us the sad story of the false positive. Savannah.
BYU students who test positive for COVID-19 are required to participate in a 2-week quarantine, but what happens when students receive the wrong results?
When Samantha Webb got exposed to corona, she took action and got tested at the BYU Health Center. She got her results back the same day and found out she tested positive for corona.
So I got a call from the health center and my mom checked my account and said that I was positive, so I had no reason to believe that I wasn't positive. And it kind of sucked because we had lots of big plans that weekend and the following weeks, but we had to cancel them all because of it.
A few days later, the health center contacted Samantha and told her she did not have corona. Her result was actually a false positive. Her sister and roommate, Chassa Webb, also had to quarantine even though she tested negative.
I am very grateful that it was 3 days instead of 2 weeks because the 3 days went by very slowly. So I'm glad that it was short, but also those days were super fun. Got to bond with my roommates. It was great. We had some fun dance parties, ate lots of food, watched BYU win a football game. So all in all, it was really good.
False positives and false negatives are a side effect of getting tested for
Here's
COVID-19.
where we're going to be quarantined
The health
for the
officials
next
say
few
students should
days.
remain cautious when going about their normal activities. Reporting for NewsLine in Provo, I'm Savannah Osler.
Instead of going to the Missionary Training Center, missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints now get trained online. NewsLine reporter Emma Evans tells us how the elders and sisters like learning from home.
Since the Provo Missionary Training Center closed its doors in March, new missionaries have attended classes via Zoom from their homes.
Missionaries still have rules and a schedule, but it's not as regimented as the normal MTC schedule.
It's definitely on me to make the decisions. I really thought about how what I choose, because I do have free time, and what I choose to do with my day just like signifies to the Lord my commitment to what I'm supposed to be doing and what I'm supposed to be learning.
The train-at-home elders and sisters wake up every morning at 6:30 a.m. and then have 5 to 6 hours of Zoom classes. After that, the missionaries schedule time for companionship, personal, and language study.
One of my favorite things is when he's been up doing his classes and he comes down, he's just got a big smile on his face and he's got his missionary tag on.
Even though they cannot interact with their district in person, the missionaries still work hard and prepare as much as they can.
Overall, just like there's some things that I'll be more prepared for than if I was in normal MTC, and some things that I'll definitely be less prepared for. Yeah, I think it kind of evens out.
Even though they train in an unconventional way, the missionaries and parents say the home-based MTC gets them prepared and ready to teach others the gospel.
And it really brings a fun spirit to the house that we have a missionary in our house, and it's really cool, for sure.
Reporting for NewsLine, I'm Emma Evans.
A teenager is home safe after going missing in Salt Lake City. 16-year-old Andrew Chandler went missing, and his parents were concerned because he has a functioning capacity of a 9-year-old. Police say he was found after a few hours and is now reunited with his parents. Police did not say where he went, what he was doing, or where he was found.
Utah leaders sign a climate and clean air compact for the state. The compact asks all Utahns to be aware and supportive towards changing the air quality by taking urgent action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and pollutants. The compact also acknowledges the difficulty this might cause the more rural areas of Utah. The goal of the compact is to use new energy and help Utah's economy.
Salt Lake City has a new flag. The flag was designed to symbolize the people. The white and blue colors represent the city's name, white for salt and blue for the Great Salt Lake. The flag has a white sago lily with 3 main petals, which represents the 3 words in the city's name. Salt Lake City is the only state capital in the nation with a 3-word name. The mayor hopes the flag will unite the city and personify the people it represents.
A New Jersey postal worker is accused of throwing away mail.
Yes, we were wondering what happened. We kept going out thinking it was going to come later and later. And then it didn't come until yesterday.
Find out how many letters this mailman turned into junk mail.
To the U.S. because U.S. education is more well-rounded.
International students react to a proposal that might cut their education short.
We've got even more fall colors and falling temperatures. How cold it'll get and when to expect some storms coming up.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
I'm ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
The airline industry has been hit hard by this pandemic and are looking to the stimulus relief as they lay off thousands of workers. 8,000 flight attendants at American Airlines alone are now looking for jobs. In a new letter, airline unions are urging Congress to pass a standalone stimulus for airlines. President Trump tweeted his support, but the bill failed in the Senate.
A U.S. postal worker is now unemployed after being accused of throwing out hundreds of pieces of mail in New Jersey. He allegedly dumped 627 pieces of mail, including general election ballots, campaign flyers, and more between September 28th and October 2nd. Residents tipped off authorities after finding the discarded mail in dumpsters.
Instead of droning on in the upsets of the season, some NFL teams are actually turning to drones and other technology to better sanitize stadiums and get fans back in the stands. Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium is deploying disinfecting drones, and at the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, they are cleaning with robots. Teams hope the new cleaning measures will help keep their fans safe. The Department of Homeland Security wants to crack down on international college students who overstay their student visas. As NewsLine reporter Kathleen Bennett tells us, the proposed rule would force international students to leave the U.S. after 4 years unless they apply for an extension.
Students from around the world dream, plan, and sacrifice to receive a well-rounded education in the U.S.
I came to the U.S. because U.S. education is more well-rounded. Like, they care about extracurriculars and developing like your personality, like doing service, like volunteer. There's just a lot more going on. But in China, it's all academics. All they care about is your grades and your test scores, and that's not the kind of, doesn't make you a good individual. So that's why my parents sent me here.
Students appreciate and value the learning they receive, not just in the classroom, but from everyday life here.
But there's the freedom to even explore that kind of wavelength of emotion, experience, and joy, triumph, sorrow, sadness, anger. You know, everything is just so much more amplified here because people are given the space to do that.
Application process for a student visa is grueling and difficult to complete. Once finished and accepted, schools practically handle the rest as long as students stay enrolled in a certain amount of credits. If put into law, this proposal would also limit student visas to 2 years for those from countries associated with high visa overstay rates. An email from the BYU International Student and Scholar Services informed international students that if the change is implemented, students will have to go through a lengthy process to apply for an extension and most likely pay fees up to $400. According to the Department of Homeland Security, this change is to encourage program compliance, reduce fraud, and enhance national security. Reporting for NewsLine in Provo, I'm Catherine Bennett.
Now these pictures of Logan Canyon have easily taken their place as my favorite fall photos. Utah State University posted these on their Twitter, giving props to their USU extension program for capturing these. I'm on board with everyone responding to the post with heart eye emojis. And walking out and seeing colors like this when they're that crisp, just amazing. But let's take a look at our precipitation forecast. As you can see, we've got Hurricane Delta coming in strong in this area, and a cold storm that's going to be hitting us just at the end of the weekend. So be ready for a little bit colder temperatures. You probably felt it this morning, but we still have some highs in today's temperatures that'll keep you nice and warm. Let's check out what we've got in Utah with a high in Logan of 79, low of 46. Salt Lake City with a high of 84, low of 55. And Provo right there with it with a high of 83, low of 52. Over here in Wendover, we have a high of 79, low of 53. And in Vernal, we have a high of 77, low of 42. In Price, you've got that high of 79 and a low of 50. In Moab, wow, would I love to be there right now. High of 86, low of 51. That sounds so warm. Richfield, we've got a high of 84, low of 51. Blanding, you've got that high of 79, low of 49. And St. George, always coming out on top with that high of 91, low of 64. Now that warm weather in the southern Utah area is going to be continuing out through your weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you've got a high of 90, 86, and 76. Your lows are getting a little cooler than they normally are with that 62, 59, 49 range. Really seeing a drop on that 49 Sunday. But you'll get a little bit of a bump back again with that 78, 85 range on your Tuesday. And it's just such nice weather. Now in northern Utah, we've got similar conditions where your Friday, Saturday kind of starting to cool down, 83, 80, and then your Sundays where we're seeing that cold storm really hitting us. Slight chance of rain, low of 54, or high of 54, low of 35. Not ready for that. On Monday and Tuesday, we've got a high of 60 and 71 and a low of 35 and 43. So you'll be able to go out and enjoy your weekend, but there might be a little bit of rain, so make sure you have your umbrella ready. But I think it's still going to be a good time. Back to you guys.
The first motocross race of the Wild West Series is this weekend.
One of the biggest adrenaline rushes is just the start line.
Watch these thrill seekers as they take on their idea of fall weather fun.
Find out how farmers markets have made a few safety adjustments in order to stay open during the pandemic.
Every ugly doll is unique.
I'm Moxie.
Bobo.
Wait.
Call me Slick Doll.
What?
And every child is too.
They can be pretty lovable.
That's why when you travel, you should make sure your child is in the right seat for their age and size.
This is why you're the wisest doll in town.
Well, keep them safe by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Isn't that right, gibberish cat?
Couldn't be better.
Find the right seat today.
Sports are starting up again here in Utah, and the motocross community is particularly revving up to go. We have our reporter Ashley Chase at the track to show us how riders are getting back into the game at one of the first motocross races this season.
I'm here at the Jordan River State Recreation Area, where we have everyone from kindergartners to seniors riding the track in this weekend's Wild West Series race.
This weekend was the first race of the Wild West Series and most racers' first time back on the track in months. Races are at all levels of ability, from beginners at 6 years old to a senior level group for those 50 and up.
I started racing when I was about 4, but then I took a year off because my dad injured his shoulder and it scared me. But I got back into it around the age of 7.
Turnout at the motocross races has been decreasing the past few years. According to racer Michael Humble, 6 or 7 years ago, close to 1,100 racers would show up to the races.
And maybe we still have some pretty big turnouts, but just this race this weekend seems a little smaller than what it has been in the past.
Though the sport may seem easy, motocross can be adrenaline pumping, with Humble describing how he ends every run completely covered in sweat.
One of the biggest adrenaline rushes is just the start line. On the start, you're lined up with a whole bunch of people and you're all trying to make it to that first corner first. So you definitely feel it every race.
The COVID-19 pandemic changed the rules for many businesses. However, one industry is actually thriving, the farmers market. NewsLine reporter Emily Roberts shows us how they've managed to stay afloat.
Farmers markets have been a part of local communities for as long as anyone can remember. Due to the threat of COVID-19, a lot of farmers markets have had to make some adjustments to their business policies in order to stay open. For some people, these are their livelihoods, so we're going to go in and talk to them and see what they've had to do in order to stay in business.
This is the Orem Sunset Farmers Market located in the Orem City Center Park. A traditionally hands-on experience, farmers markets are making some changes to keep up with the COVID times.
One of the main things is that a lot of people are wanting samples. They want to try what we have, and we're not allowed to do that. So basically, they're just taking a leap of faith with whatever we got, whatever they like, and they just have to buy it. And for the most part, they like it.
With some new rules and a fresh attitude, Corbin and his family make the most out of their bakery stand.
We have to have hands free and masks. We have to wear masks. And they have to hand the food to them.
The biggest impact of COVID-19 falls on the produce sellers who have had to navigate a new way to market their goods to buyers.
It's changed a lot. A lot of our regular customers are unable to come to the market because they're older and they don't feel it's safe. We haven't had as much sales this year. People are used to being able to touch their produce and feel it and decide what they want to get, and so it kind of is a little uncomfortable for some people, but they're learning.
The farmers market will come to a close for the year at the end of October. Buyers can still visit the Provo Farmers Market at Pioneer Park from 10 to 2, here in Orem from 5 to 9, or in Springville in front of the Civic Center from 5 to 9. This is Emily Roberts reporting for BYU Newsline, signing out.
Studies show... Oh, never mind.
A popular YouTube video shows that even crocodiles come to their owners when called by name. Joseph, do you have a pet crocodile?
I do not. But maybe if I move to southern Florida where this video was taken, I might.
Come here, baby. Margarita, come here. Hi. You're just a good girl.
That's probably the best behaved crocodile I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, I've never described a crocodile as adorable,
Is it a crocodile or an alligator?
That seems, or alligator. I should probably move to Florida and find out.
I don't
That
know.
is
It's hard to tell.
adorable. And naming that animal Margarita,
It suits the beast, I think.
it suits the beast and it suits the setting.
It does. It really does.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you for joining us here on Newsline.
For more information on our stories, you can head to the Newsline website or share them with your friends. Check out our website, universe.byu.edu/newsline.
Have a great day.